care about in completing that particular respective activities. So we need to begin taking care about when getting comfortable with that particular respective syntaxes. I mean, while working this particular respective Selenium automation, we need to begin take care about how exactly we can take care about in automating different type of functionalities. So in that, we need to begin take care about in working with that particular respective text boxes and taking with that particular respective buttons. I mean, we need to begin take care about in understanding how exactly we can take care about in automating all that particular respective individual functionality. Same that we need to take care about this particular respective web table. So if I'm taking with web table, meaning of the web table, what is it? Data to be displayed in table format on web page. So we need to begin taking care about in working with this particular web table. So as part of the web table, we need to begin take care about in performing the two steps. What are the two steps need to be done? Retrieving count. We need to begin take care about in retrieving count of the table. Another one, retrieving data from table. So we need to begin take care about in retrieving count of the table and taking care about in retrieving data from the table. If I'm taking with count, what is the count we can retrieve? Row count, column count, row and column count. In the same way, if I'm taking the data, what is the data we can retrieve? Data from one particular cell. I mean, we can retrieve data from particular cell. Another one, data from whole table. We can retrieve data from one particular cell or data from the whole table. So in that, if you want to begin retrieve the count, to get retrieve the count, what is the method name? What is it? Size. If you want to begin retrieve the count, you will be taking with method name. That you will be taking with method name is size. In the same way, we need to begin take care about in retrieving data. To get retrieve the data, what is the method name we are using? What is it? Get text. We need to begin take care about in using that particular respective get text here. So according to that particular program requirement as a tester, we need to begin comfortable in understanding what exactly that particular required methods need to be used. While working this particular size method, that particular size method is working based on XPath. And even when you work with getText method also, which has been working based on that particular respective XPath here. So that we need to be get comfortable in taking care about in providing that particular respective XPath. So for that, first we got taking care about in utilizing that particular respective count. So if I'm taking with that particular count, we need to be get take care about that particular row count. We need to be get taking care about in providing that particular respective row count here. In the same way, we need to take care about column count and taking care about row and column. We got utilizing method name is size only. So according to that particular requirement, we need to take care about in providing that particular respective expert. We need to take care about retrieving with the count, assigning to the variable and printing that particular respective variable. In the same way, we need to take care about in retrieving the data. We need to be get retrieve the data from the one particular cell. Further, we need to be get provided that particular row detail. Considering that in this particular table, it's need to be get navigate second row and need to be get navigate to second column. It's need to be get take care about in navigating to second row and navigating to second column and then need to be get retrieve the data assigning to that particular variable and need to be get print that variable. This is very straightforward. If you want to be get, if you want to be get take care about, if you want to be get take care about retrieve the data from any one particular cell, that is very straightforward. You need to be get provide that particular row detail or you can take care about that particular column detail and then retrieving with the data. In the same way, we need to take care about retrieving with the data from the whole table. First, we need to take care about retrieve the data from that particular first row and then taking care about retrieve the data from second row. We need to be get iterate each and every particular row and then we need to be get retrieve the data and need to be get printed. So how we can do that? Uh-huh. Right. So if you want to be get retrieve the data from the whole table, how we can do that? Condition what you will write. For iterating condition cannot be done, right? Mm-hmm. So if I'm taking with this particular one, so if I'm just taking care about this particular one, we need to be get take care about in having this particular respective one. So need to be get take care about in having this particular iteration. We need to be get taking care about in utilizing with the loop concept. Our requirement is we need to be get take care about in iterating with each and every particular row. If you want to get each and every particular row, first you need to take first row and then taking with second row and then taking with third row. So you have to take care about in iterating with each and every particular row and need to be get retrieve the data. So that you will be taking with loops concept here. That is what we mentioned that if I'm taking with the loop, what is the meaning of the loop? Meaning of the loop, performing repeated activity. If you want to be get perform that particular repeated activity, we can take with the help of that particular loop. What are the loops we got? While loop, do while, for loop, for each. One will be taking with while loop and taking with this particular do while and taking with for loop and considering that for each loop. So for now, as part of the requirement, I'm just taking care about in utilizing this particular for loop. If I'm taking with this particular for loop, what is the syntax to be followed? Condition. First, when you work with for loop, what is the syntax? First is, yeah. First, condition. What is it? Initialization. First is initialization. After that, condition. After that, increment or decrement. So we need to take care about initialization and after that taking with condition and then taking with increment or taking with decrement here. So we need to understand that how exactly we can take care about it. Okay. So let's see that if I'm taking with initialization that I need to mentioned that int I equal to 1. First I'm taking with initialization that will be taking with int I equal to 1. After that, need to take with condition. Need to take care about in having that particular condition. Now, that particular condition mention that I less than or equal to what is that condition? 7. So I less than or equal to 7. Why we need to mention 7? The row count according to a table. How many rows are there? 7 rows. So 7 times it's need to be continue the loop. You can mention that particular 7 or which need to be mentioning taking with that particular variable that will be taking with row and then need to be take care about that particular one considering the I plus plus. So we need to be taking care about that particular initialization and taking with condition and taking with increment. After that, let's see that how we are writing. So further, I'm taking with the string need to be retrieve the data. To retrieve the data, taking with driver dot considering the find element need to be mentioned driver dot find element and taking with y dot considering the taking with x path only. So need to be provide that particular respective x path and considering that how to write that x path we look into that. For now, to retrieve the data, what is the method name? What is it? Get text. To retrieve the data, need to be take care about that particular method name considering the get text. Once I got retrieve that particular data, once I got retrieve that particular data of get text, you need to be take care about in printing that particular respective statement that will be taking with data. Okay. So requirement we need to take care about in retrieving with the data from the whole table. Because of that, we got taking with that particular loop and retrieving the data. Up to that, perfectly okay. So now we need to be take care about in writing that particular respective x path. Let's see that how exactly we can take care about that particular respective X path. If I'm taking with that particular X path, how we can take care about that particular X path. See the understanding. First, we got provided this particular loop concept. If I'm taking with this particular loop concept, if I'm taking with this particular loop concept, in that, if I'm taking this in, what you can consider data type, I is variable, one is variable value. The purpose of data types and variables representing with data. So that part, our regular activity, we are not making with any new thing. See the understanding. We are going with our regular activity. If we just look into that, we are taking with data type and considering that variable and taking with variable value. So if I'm taking with I value, what is I value we provided? What is I value? 1. So for the first time, we got provided that particular I value will be 1. It will perform that particular activity and we got mentioned I plus plus. Meaning of plus plus? Meaning of plus plus? Increment. Increment operator. Incrementing the value by 1. So by default, we got consider that I value is 1. Then it will take care about in incrementing that particular I value. That will consider that 1 plus 1. Considering that 2, 2 plus 1. So it will continue that particular required increment. It will take care about in incrementing that particular value by 1. So it will take care about in incrementing that particular value by 1. Okay. See the understanding, see the concept here. Now, we are taking with this particular expert providing the TR. Meaning of TR? Table row. We need to take care about in incrementing that particular row. Because of that, I'm just providing I. I'm just providing tier of I. Now, I value for the first time. What is I value? For the first time, what is I value? 1. It will consider the tier of 1. It will recognize a table. From the table, it will consider first row, retrieving the text, assigning to the variable, printing that variable, and taking with it will increment it. I value will become in a 2. Considering the tier of 2, it will retrieve the data from second row, assigning to the variable and printing. So it will continue incrementing that particular I value and it will take care about retrieving the data, assigning to the variable and printing. So up to that, perfectly okay. So up to that, perfectly okay. Now, see the understanding. If I'm taking with this particular X path, what type of X path it is? X path that single attribute. What type of X path? What type of X path? What is it? Relative X path. Meaning of relative X path? Starts with HTML attribute. So if I'm taking with relative X path, need to be get mentioned that starts with HTML attribute. So it has been taking with that particular ID attribute and taking care about and continued that particular XPath. Okay. According to our understanding, this is XPath considering the relative XPath. It can be relative or absolute, whatever it can be. The conclusion, this is XPath. Inside of XPath, you provided I. Meaning of the I? Meaning of that I. What is it? Variable. This whole thing, XPath. In a XPath, you provided I. I is considered as variable. That means in the XPath, you are trying to provide the variable. In simple, you are taking care about in working with XPath. In that particular XPath, you are taking care about in providing variable. By default, if we just provide the variable, by default, if we just provide the variable, your XPath cannot understand. Your XPath cannot understand that this is a variable. Your XPath cannot understand that this is a variable. See the understanding? See the understanding. If I'm taking with this particular one, we got this particular respective XPath. In the XPath, we got a variable. When you're taking with the XPath, for that particular XPath, we need to be get provide that particular respective variable. Now, in simple, by default, your XPath cannot understand. By default, your XPath cannot understand that this is a variable. Because of that, we need to inform to that XPath to consider this is a variable. So how we can do that? So how we can provide that? For that, first you need to take square brackets. That is a regular one. To consider it is a variable. To inform that it is a variable, you need to take care about in providing double quotes.